Today's episode is with our first AI expert. She lives and breathes AI on a day-to-day basis and helps enterprise companies figure out how to incorporate and work with AI in their specific businesses. She's a wealth of information and all-around cool lady. Today's episode is with Marinela Profi. Yeah, so I mean, I think it would be great just to jump in with a little more about your background, sort of, you know, how you spend your days and your time. Then we can flow into this AI stuff because I really just found you on LinkedIn. So I think it would be helpful for us all to get a little, 0 to 60 on
Absolutely.
Mary. Yeah.
So I started my career in Italy. So I'm Italian from Rome, raised in Rome my entire life.
Yeah.
My background is statistics.
Okay.
So I started, I have a bachelor in economics and a master in statistics and machine learning. So all things AI.
For sure.
And then I got an MBA just because you need that kind of like business. I think that's the advice that I always give to people.
Interesting. Okay.
When they want to start a career in data science.
You had the technical expertise,
right?
But then
and you
needed
need
a little more
business,
macro.
like business.
I get that. Yeah.
Economic. And then I started working as a data engineer.
Okay.
So I was data engineer in Italy. I was doing that for a university. So it was simply, honestly, just a bunch of Excel files all the day, like macros on Excel, on student data, and like all the kinds of data related to the education area.
Yeah.
And then I started working at the company I currently work for, which is SAS, global lead in AI analytics. I was working for SAS in Italy, and then I was transferred here in the headquarters, where I currently live now in Cary, Raleigh, North Carolina. So that's a little bit of my background. What I do today.
Yeah.
So today I work in the product strategy team.
Okay.
So we're a team where each of us has basically a responsibility of a portfolio area or of a product or of a topic. In my case, I lead AI and generative AI. So now it's all generative AI. So that's, and I work with, R&D, like the developers, the sales folks, and the market on like developing the messaging and the positioning of how we are going to like articulating the benefit of our solutions and the value that we provide to our customers in this case.
So maybe before we go into some of the initial AI stuff, what are like the features, or like what is the function of SAS's AI products at the moment? Like how are they sort of working with organizations? What would be the solution, I guess, offered?
Yeah, so the main solution, so SAS has been around since the 70s. So keep in mind that you're talking about a company that has 40 plus years of experience across so many industries, right? In analytics, even before analytics was a thing.
Yeah.
Or even AI was a thing. So our value proposition has changed across the years because obviously it has adapted to the needs of the market. Today, our main value proposition is of a data and AI platform, which is called SAS Via.
Okay.
And it's basically an end-to-end data and AI platform that allows organizations to access their data of any kind of source, whether in any kind of format, right? Because you have numeric data, you can have images, you can have audio, video, right? Well, seeing all of that exploding even more with generative AI.
Oh, yeah.
And then you build models, right? The algorithms, the AI, the artificial brain, I like to call it, within Via. And then the most critical part in that organizations have to deal with when it comes to AI projects is the deployment.
Okay.
So Via helps you actually passing from that experiment, right, that you can run into a lab to then putting something into production, which comes with so many other things that need to work. Right? It's like passing from a startup to like a whole enterprise.
Yeah.
Speaking for organizations.
So what would be like an example of like why an organization came to SAS and what working with SAS resulted in?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Right. Of course. So organizations today have huge amount of data.
For sure.
Okay? We're talking like millions and billions and billions of data. Okay. That are produced sometimes in real time. So like on streaming, so every day. And they want to extract insights from those data. So they want to use those data apply it to their business. And they want to extract some insights on how to increase their productivity, increase the productivity of their business processes, right? Increase efficiency or streamline some tasks or save money, right? On some aspect. So an example, just can, you can just Google SaaS customers, but like Georgia Pacific, for example, right? During COVID, we all know Georgia Pacific, a huge manufacturing company. During COVID, their supply chain completely got disrupted as everybody in the world. Like the demand and the supply was so different. Think of toilet papers.
Yeah, that's
How could you predict that?
The shortage,
right? And the high demand. And they're like, okay. So Georgia Pacific works with us, with SaaS. They leverage SaaS to, or in this case, SaaS via our platform to analyze data in real time of their product, of their sales, and of their at every level, even of their production. So they have like cameras that are on the machines, and they detect like defects on the product or like across many different use cases, we call them. So that's like an example
for sure. Being able to plug into all of their information sources to help them figure out how to be better or how to produce more or deal with their shortage. And essentially get to that's fascinating. Because when you think of information, a lot of the times you just think of an Excel sheet. But these companies have cameras and like so many different types of data inputs. So that's fascinating.
Yeah, and there are so many factors. When you talk about data, you open a whole other world. Just the data, like security, privacy.
For sure.
Like how are you using the technology responsibly and ethically? Because we are seeing a lot of harm that's also being done by AI.
I definitely want to get into that too.
Yeah.
Man, that's helpful to kind of get my mind wrapped around the topic. But I want to backtrack to when AI first came into your sort of awareness. I mean, so you were in Italy. Like when did AI first get introduced to you, and what was that initial introduction? What were like the capabilities, or what was the functionality then?
Okay, so for me, it was kind of like a process. So growing up, as a kid, I've always loved math. Yeah, like always. And in fact, to be honest, I wanted to do my degree, my bachelor, in pure mathematics. Okay. Back in the days, my parents were like, what are you going to be? Like a teacher? Like, you can't do anything with that. Like, you can just be a teacher. And then, like, well, first of all, I'm passionate about teaching. There's nothing bad with that. What's wrong with that, Mom and Dad? Come on. But, parents, right? Italian parents, let's leave it like that. You got to make money. You got to get into somewhere where, you can't be successful. And I'm like, okay. So I studied econometrics, economics, which is economics and metrics, like math. So all numbers. So got it in there. Secret number plug. But I'm doing economics, right? Business. That's good. So that was my bachelor, but I've always loved math. And then my master, I was like, okay, done with economics or something. I'm going full in, and I did statistics, machine learning purely for my master's degree, and it was just coding, and it was just a lot of SAS, Python, R. I would say the first use case where I was really, I could say it really introduced me to AI was with textual data. Okay, so we're doing like a sentiment analysis. Oh, interesting. Yeah. Do you know what sentiment analysis is? That's like basically gauging people's feelings around a topic, right? Like you're trying to see what they perceive it as or feel about it. Yeah. That's a very like elementary. Right? Like, no, that's great. Okay. So you have like textual data, right? It could be like reviews for that's a great one. Restaurant or a hotel or anything, or tweets. Yeah, even like there you go. Tweets, right, on a topic. So like you go on Twitter, you put a hashtag, and you download all the tweets on that hashtag, on that particular topic, and then you analyze what are people thinking about it. Are they liking this? Are they not liking it? How do they react into this? I don't know, anything like this news, this campaign, this whatever. And so that was my first approach. Yep. It's actually like technically the terminology for this kind of use cases is natural language processing. Natural language processing. And it's pretty basic because it's like processing natural language, which is our language, human language. We speak natural language. Yeah. So those are all algorithms that process, understand, and process natural language. Got you. So you're synthesizing a big set of information to try to like visualize how people are feeling about
a topic with that.
Yeah. Because words could be, think of it as like transforming words into a table, like into a number. So putting some sort of structure, because words are unstructured data, they're called, right? We have structured and unstructured. Structure is the table. It's a column, rows, it's structured.
Yep.
Words are unstructured data.
That's
so
right,
you gotta transform them into something you can analyze, and then you start using AI to find correlations between words.
Got it. Yeah.
So and do like association analysis, or all algorithms that then tell you, like, for example, this amount of people are complaining, like the majority of your customers are complaining about this service that you're providing, or the specific aspect of your service that you're providing.
Yeah, or this feature of the product is whatever. I took a data analytics or a couple data analytics courses at NC State, and I remember like creating a word cloud where like if one word was said more than other words, it was the big one, and then there's a bunch of little words, but the words that were mentioned the most in this data set were the big ones. And that's like, that's probably a very elementary analysis way, but like I was like, oh, okay, that feels kind of like this initial.
But I'll tell you, the most elementary things are actually the ones that to me work the best.
Got it. Okay.
Because even if you take something that's really complicated, you got to be able to translate it into terms that even the person that has no idea about AI can understand.
For sure, yeah.
Because otherwise, my job would have no value if me and my peers would be the only one to understand. So the word cloud, it's actually a very used example.
Oh, nice. Okay, great. We got that one.
We use it so much because it's so easy to understand. And so it's just based on frequencies, right?
Yeah,
it's like the most times the words appear, the bigger I'll make it for you, right? So
I can connect the dots to that one with my gorilla brain. Yeah, that's funny. So when did like this natural language processing start becoming like an AI? Is that the right way to ask the question? When did you start seeing that there is this external brain that's starting to be a part of this industry, and like who was creating it? Was this something that a lot of what years were this? You know what I'm?
So AI, NLP, like we're going back really to decades.
Yeah.
This is not something new, okay? Like there are some natural language processing, and when I say NLP, I mean natural language processing is the short way of saying it. But NLP algorithms have started since probably like the 70s or the 50s.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So there are lots of techniques that were experimented, but there was something that was missing back then that we then had after, which is two things: data, the amount of data.
Oh, so much more data being created.
So much more.
Okay.
And the computational power.
Got it. Okay.
So computers today, like the cloud and CPUs, GPUs, like all of that are giving us as humans the possibility to process that huge amount of data that we didn't have before.
Yeah.
So if you combine these two things, it's natural, right? Like what happened. So basically, with the explosion of computer vision models that happened about a decade ago, that we started to really.
Can you define what like computer vision model? What's a computer vision model?
A computer vision model. It's a brain that has an artificial eye.
Okay.
So it's basically a computer that analyzes images or videos.
Got it. Oh, I gotcha. Right. Yeah.
So if you are with AI, you can do different things. Okay, you can predict the weather. Right. You can detect fraudulent transactions. You can classify documents or sentiment. You can recognize objects or humans.
Yeah.
That is computer vision.
Got it.
When you start recognizing things, so it's like, is this a cat or not? Is this a dog or not? Is this a human or not? That is computer vision.
I see. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that is when the explosion really happens with the computer vision and with these algorithms that are called deep learning.
Deep learning.
Okay,
we got machine learning. We've got deep learning. Yeah.
So tell me if I'm throwing too many technical terms out there.
Deep learning, we probably need a breakdown on that one too. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So deep learning is a subcategory of machine learning.
Okay.
Think of it as, think AI a big circle.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, I like that.
I'll send you a visual. Think of AI, a big circle. Then you have machine learning inside. Then you have deep learning inside.
Okay.
Then you have generative AI, which is now the chat GPT of the world.
Yeah.
Even inside that, more
Oh,
inside that.
okay. Yeah.
So deep learning is a subset of machine learning that specifically focuses on analyzing huge amount of data, huge, like very big amount of data, using algorithms that are called like neural networks.
Okay.
And
I'm familiar with the neural networks term.
right.
Yeah.
And the difference between deep learning and other stuff, other types of machine learning, is that deep learning is a black box algorithm. Black box means that you give this thing something and it gives you out something, but you have no idea what happened in the middle.
Oh, geez.
Like you cannot open.
Sounds kind of scary though.
Explain, right, and explain the output. So.
Wow. So what would be the example of like a command you would give for deep learning? Like go look at all of this information on this.
Like would be, for example, for deep learning would be, for example, cameras on the street. They're monitoring crowds.
Yeah.
Right? Or airport for security.
Yeah.
Right? Those are all deep learning algorithms that behind scenes are using neural network. And those algorithms have been trained on millions and millions of images of people. And so they're able to recognize, they have learned how to recognize people.
Dang, you got me thinking about Eagle Eye with Shia LaBeouf. Have you seen that movie?
No, I haven't.
You haven't seen this?
No.
Oh my gosh.
Is that like a
You got homework.
movie?
You got homework now.
Okay.
He starts getting phone calls. I mean, this is such a tangent, but we'll go for it. He starts getting phone calls that are like telling him to go places and do things, and and it turns out there's this government computer that's literally watching him through traffic cameras, telling him where to go, what to do.
There you go.
Yeah,
that's deep learning.
And he goes and
computer
faces
vision.
the computer at the end of it. But
that's computer vision.
Yeah.
Well, there are also nice stuff you can do with this technology. I'll tell you.
Like, Eagle Eye's here. You're done. See you later.
That's it.
Okay, wow. All right. So this deep learning though is a big piece of what had to happen to bring AI to life. Like this functionality had to be created due to new computational power
and a lot of data.
And a lot of data.
Yeah, let's say that deep learning was a big trend for AI that really turned like really opened the door for all the technologies that we've seen in the past.
Now, when did that
decades.
Do you have like when did that start happening? Because
I would say like 2014, 2013, 14.
Okay, so we're getting to more recent history
more
now.
recent. Yeah. Even though the algorithms existed before, because again,
be run, right?
The application, their applicability. So there were pioneers like Google, for example, or Apple in the space that they started launching this first, like publishing these first studies on applying for the first time this algorithms to huge data and images and videos. And obviously, as you can imagine, the benefit for the business are a lot, right? But the possibilities of doing harm are a lot too.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Now, do you have any examples of like what those early products would have been that they were using deep learning in? You know, like I think about like a crappy version of Siri or something. Like were these algorithms being used in any consumer facing experiences, or is that a right way to think about it?
Yeah. So I would say some common applications could be, for example, predictive maintenance.
Okay.
Like think of like, I don't know, any manufacturing company in the world that produces bottles.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're producing bottles, and you know that your bottle needs to have a specific shape, specific measurement, specific color, specific texture, everything, like to be considered good to go and be sold. Okay. And so manually, before, you would have a human checking
it out. Yeah.
You can place a camera in front of your entire supply chain and have that identified for you and detected for you.
I see.
And then have a robot that, just takes away the ones that you don't want to go for sale. The entire supply chain was hugely
benefited from that.
Another sector that we're seeing really exploding right now is healthcare.
Okay.
Healthcare is going to be the next industry that is going to be revolutionized by all the generative AI wave.
Yeah.
Essentially. I can, examples of it are.
For sure. Yeah, what would that be?
Yeah. So examples in healthcare are, for example, people are using artificial intelligence to predict diseases.
Okay.
So
based off of like symptoms, or like how does the artificial intelligence get the inputs for
Based on symptoms.
Okay.
Yep, based on symptoms of somebody. So the
I guess
system,
your blood work even, you could just be analyzed
everything.
by.
It could be literally
Yeah.
everything. You can give
That's
so
crazy.
many data,
Yeah.
and it will find associations and immediately start predicting, make those predictions,
Jeez.
right?
AI doctor, you know,
AI
like you don't
doctor.
even need.
Yeah, you got to be careful though, because how you train these models.
Okay.
Because they're really, really, especially in healthcare, and especially when you're treating sensitive data like patients and stuff.
Yeah.
It can really mess up because it can be really biased.
Who gets access to the data? Oh,
No,
it can be biased.
Oh yeah. Oh,
Really?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. I've heard that
It's
a lot just in
really
terms of
biased.
like, you know, interpreting facts or talking about like political events or like
Yeah.
social issues. But in medicine, that's fascinating.
Yeah, I mean, I can give you examples.
Oh, yeah,
right?
yeah.
For example, you know, the heart of a woman and a man beat differently.
Okay.
And so some of these algorithms are way less accurate to predict, for example, a heart attack in a woman than in a man.
Because it was like trained on.
Because it was trained
masculine.
on man data.
Oh,
So
wow.
actually, the entire women are hugely underrepresented in the AI world.
Huh.
Because the organizations itself
Yeah.
and researchers, they fail to collect data on women. And so this actually impacts us as women on different aspects of life, from like work environment to professional environment, everything. For a woman is 17% more chances to die in a car accident than a man, and 47% to get more injured than a man in a car, seriously injured than a man in a car accident, simply because the safety systems, security systems of the cars are tested on the standard man body.
Oh, that's interesting. They're not even like thinking about putting a
No.
woman style crash
No,
dummy in
they're
the
not.
seat.
They're like, this is a human being.
Yeah, just a human.
Yeah,
but
that's
humans are
it.
different.
Right.
Wow.
So
Jeez.
bias, it's a big thing.
Yeah.
And obviously bias is not just in terms of, you know, gender, it's also race, religion.
Oh, yeah, there's a lot of
and,
aspects to that.
There's a lot of aspects to it. So a big topic when we talk about artificial intelligence is this topic of responsible artificial intelligence.
For sure.
There's actually a database out there. If you guys type AI incident database on Google.
Yeah, we can do
there
this.
There is an entire database of incidents that happen daily caused by AI. You gotta be careful.
Yeah.
Like you gotta be careful on how we implement and how we use these systems. And governments are being demanded to be on top of this.
Now, do you feel like, you know, to me it seems like from what I've seen people talk about this, like the AI's sort of, you know, biases or how it is really just a result of the data that the creator's deciding to let it be trained off of. Now, do you feel like there's a government intervention that is happening to help write that? Or like, you know, that feels like something that we're almost relying on these organizations to be good actors with right now?
Honestly, we kind of are, but we're getting better.
Yeah.
Like initially when this all started, we had no power. Like governments had no, like initially they had to like, you know, just be watching at this revolution, right? They were expecting it. So they're like, okay, this is happening. So at first it
we're all
was
just like holding on, and these people are just like charging ahead, and we're like, I think they're gonna do the right thing. I think, I hope.
Yeah, and the tough part for government is that they need to understand this technology.
Yeah.
And so the data literacy aspect, it's so important because if you don't know, how are you going to build laws and regulations around it? And so
like you see the clips of like people of like these government, you know, sittings or like these boards where they're trying to just understand what like Facebook is.
Right.
And I'm like, this guy's got no chance to understand what
and they
ChatGPT can
Mark
do.
Zuckerberg to explain them.
Yeah. You're like, dang, these guys are just trying to figure out how to tie their shoes in the morning. How are they going to figure out how to get?
It is.
You know?
It's a learning process
for sure.
But the U.S. government, for example, they just released the Presidential Artificial Intelligence Act of Responsible Usage, and the EU is being really pioneering the entire regulations around AI.
Okay.
So they just launched the AI EU Act.
Yeah.
Which basically sets the guardrails and says like, here's things you can do, here's things you cannot do with this data or that data. Like you cannot analyze pictures or images of people on the street without their consent. Right?
Gotcha.
Then, of course, how do you get their consent? Who is monitoring that you're actually getting everybody's consent?
Yeah.
And those are all things,
For sure.
you know, open questions that they'll have to, they are figuring out. I hope they already have figured out. But the important thing is that government know that this thing can't just be left on its own. It needs
or a
to
company
be
uploads all of
regulated.
their like medical records of patients, and then that's an open AI system that could potentially push those results or insights to a different user. I mean,
that happens.
yeah,
That happens. Yeah. That's not uncommon.
yeah, that feels so kind of sketchy. I guess I do like the idea that at least some people are trying to avoid the whole Big Brother nature of us constantly being like watched and monitored, but it feels like in the United States at this point, it's still like you've got like OpenAI, like they're just charging full speed.
OpenAI is the company of the year. It's the company of the year. Do you use ChatGPT?
I use it. I mean, I use it weekly for sure. I don't say not daily, but I love it for like. I love it for a few things. One is like the new Dolly functionality with creating images. That's just kind of fun. I'd say it's less like practical, but more so kind of fun to like visualize little stories. But then for writing, like for me, for putting in numbers to draft a report around, so I can put in like, hey, here's like 10 results of something. Let's like create a full written report around what that means. Or crafting an email for a specific purpose. Like, for example, inviting someone on the podcast. I can have it.
Did you craft mine with
I
ChatGPT?
didn't create yours. But like now you can like have it write it and then I'll edit it. Very, very rarely has it been like shippable. The output is like something I want to use directly without me drafting and editing it. But it takes a lot of that initial legwork, and I think definitely has been a time saver for sure.
Bingo. That's exactly at an enterprise level what I'm seeing at a business side of the world. It's that these technology is so powerful, right? From a individual personal level, right? In your case, right? Because it's completely changing the interaction between human intelligence and artificial intelligence. Like it's everybody now can interact with AI, can interact with complex algorithms just by typing something and it's going to give you the answer.
I met a guy literally like 3 or 4 weeks ago who like OG ChatGPT was using an API to write love poetry for his wife. He was like, look, dude, I'm a bad romantic. I figured out that I could write poems on. So every week he just would write up a little ChatGPT poem. Send it.
His wife?
Yeah.
I wonder if he was telling her that it was from ChatGPT.
I don't think she knew.
The new romanticism.
But I was like, hey, just out like we're almost outsourcing, and in a way, we're already like cyborgs. I mean, we're like digitally enabled creatures utilizing
it's funny
cell phones.
My cousin, she's like I don't know, like 19, and she told me, "Hey, Mari, I want to dump my boyfriend. How can I type can ChatGPT ask me tell me how to dump him?" And I'm like, "Girl." Communication skills.
Your communication skills. Well, eventually you'll just be able to plug in your cell phone. You'll be able to plug your iMessage and just say, hey, ChatGPT, you got to break up. You got to break up with Susie for me. This ain't working out.
And then block her.
She's just gone.
You're
good.
But I mean, we're laughing, but there is a lot of there is a lot of education that we need to do, especially with young people.
For sure. And we're already in honestly, like a pretty fragile digital society.
That's crazy, man.
I mean, you hear the stories of like the AI girlfriends. I mean, some of these applications are not like, in my sense, just like positive for humanity.
No. Did you hear in New Jersey what happened?
No.
A kid created fake pornographic images of one of the girls of the school. So basically, he took her face and it created all pornographic images and it looked legit, look real.
Oh my gosh.
And videos too. And they post them online, and that's so messed up.
That is so messed up. I'm headline
really messed up.
This is like clickbaiting right now, but I think I saw an article about X had like a bunch of artificial Taylor Swift AI photos.
Yeah, that's
same
recent.
Thing. That was like in the last 24 hours, I think.
Yeah, that happened to her too. But if you're Taylor Swift, you you might not give a damn.
Yeah,
You have
you
like
at least
all
have
this
the
support system
platform or
around
whatever
you.
to say, hey,
And
that's
you have
not
like
it.
support system around you, and like you have all this, and and like you can have a newspaper that posts 10 articles saying that that's fake.
That's fake, yeah.
Right? But if you were a 16 years old girl
You're
in high
right.
school,
That's a great
and
point.
like your brand is done, like you
Oh,
are
yeah.
done in school, and like you don't know like
I was gonna listen to you if like
what
you know
kind of like mental impact that can have on her. Like you know, it's really messed up.
For
like,
sure.
This is so messed up.
Putting that
I'm
much
worried.
power
Like
into-
parents need to educate their kids today on this usage. That's
Oh,
why
yeah.
I'm forcing my mom. So she's like a nurse in a hospital. Like she knows nothing about AI, but I'm like I'm forcing her
Yeah.
to learn and like take a basic course for like generative AI 101.
Oh
Like
man.
everybody needs
Yeah.
to have a basic understanding of what this is, how it works.
It's scary in the hand of bad actors. Cause like I remember we were at this was Thanksgiving one year, and my grandma gets a call from someone, and in the next 10 minutes she's like downloading an app to let them control her phone, and like imagine that just coming from an actual good voice that sounds like sounds like me, sounds like, you know, her son, or even in the future a visual representation of you on like a Google Meet, right? Like
I know.
It's
crazy.
scary. That's super scary.
Yeah, that's the world we're
I
living
mean, when
in.
you look at the AI dynamic, even like on this enterprise level, like do you in general feel like the notion is a positive one? I mean, it does sound like this has probably impacted people's jobs. I mean, you probably see it on a scale. I mean, you're talking about organizations. Like for us, you know, we might use it to edit a video, right? And it's like, you know, did it really have a major? But like you're talking about companies that are thousands of, you know, I mean, do you feel like it's leading them towards a brighter future, or like is it constant bottom line You know, does that make sense from a dynamic?
I think it makes sense. Your question, it's a great question. So as every, you know, from a job perspective, I hear a lot, obviously, people saying, "Oh, AI is going to take my job. AI is going to take my job. I'm going to be fired." So if you think back history, like, this is not the first time this thing happens, right?
Yeah.
Like industrial revolution, right? If you entered into a Ford warehouse, they needed hundreds of people to build 10 cars. Today, Ford uses probably 2 to build 1 car, and everything else is automated.
Yeah.
Right? If you go even more back in the history, you had people that go in the street and turn on the lights on the street manually, and then go and turn it off. Like those jobs don't exist anymore, but like, you know, so to me, the way I see it, I think that there's going to be 4 like main categories of job shifting. Okay, right. Cool. And I have a note on that because I want to make sure to talk about this because I think this is really important. Yeah. So there's going to be job that exists today, they won't not exist in like 10, 20 years. Yeah. That's for sure. Right. And that's, to me, that's like natural. Okay.
Like the QA water bottle checker, you know, that person was probably gone a while ago.
There you go. There you go. Yeah. One example, right? There are jobs that exist today and they will continue to grow in the future. And I think those are going to be all AI focused. So you're going to see, you know, they'll like data scientists, machine learning engineers, like all these people that we actually need to build this stuff, they are going to continue to grow. Like I think, like, so they're going to grow and like have a bright career because they're going to be in such a high demand for those jobs. And then there's going to be jobs that are going to stay, but they're going to be transformed. Yeah. Evolve. Yeah. And by evolved, I mean that they're going to become AI powered. Yep. So there's going to be, for example, think of it like I don't know, if you're a content creator, you're going to become a AI empowered content creator. For sure. If you are a marketer, you're going to become an AI empowered marketer. Yeah. Okay. And then lastly, there are jobs that don't exist. Or a doctor,
like you're an AI empowered doctor.
Yeah.
I mean, probably already at this point. I mean,
they're already. Yep. I'll give you an example in a little bit. Yeah. But the 4th category is jobs that don't exist today and will exist. Okay. So new jobs are going to be starting. So if you think about influencers or content creators or like YouTubers that didn't exist years ago, they're going to be new. Like
social media created that.
Yeah, you're probably going to have like, I don't know, your an AI avatar manager. Like, I don't know.
Like,
that's
what you're saying.
Like, you know what I mean? Like there's going to be new jobs that we can't even predict that they exist, but they are going to exist.
An entirely new infrastructure of opportunity created with AI.
Maybe you're going to have like AI healthcare expert in each hospital closely working with the doctor doctor to understand the machine
Yeah.
and like
Or how to manipulate an AI or work with an AI.
yeah, how to interpret it. Yeah. Today, like AI is healthcare is a huge example for me because it's there's so much opportunity. There's so much that's happening already. Like we're working with Cambridge, it SAS, to analyze kidneys pictures. So we're building this AI. So today, basically, if you need a kidney transplant,
Okay.
I hope you never do, but if you do need a kidney transplant, it's such a manual and time-consuming process for they to match you to the right one.
Oh.
Like it takes ages.
I didn't know this. Yeah.
It takes ages, and sometimes people are in waiting lists, and some like the right one doesn't come. Sometimes the right kidney comes, they don't notice it, and so it just goes away, and the patient doesn't benefit from. Like it's a very manual process, and it's all based on the knowledge of the doctor.
Really?
Right.
Okay.
So
they find one and they just know that there's someone, or they've seen
analyze
the data.
it, they see, and they're like, oh, let's run some analysis or some stuff like that. They're like, okay, yeah, I think this is a good one. This is good for this person.
Whoa.
So we're working with Cambridge, and this is a public story. You can go and read it online too, to essentially build an AI system that detects and analyzes kidneys pictures and matches in real time the kidney with the best patients that it's on the waiting list at a global level, right? Like, so this kidney is perfect for this person.
For sure.
So let's do it. That's like an example.
Yeah.
Yeah. Another example are digital twins.
Okay.
Do you know what they are?
Digital twin? No. But I feel like this is going into avatars.
So if you're thinking it's a robot that's going to clean your house, not.
No, okay.
That would be too nice.
I was thinking I'd just make it like a digital Jeb 2.0 and he would just be my...
Yeah, like just go do the boring stuff for me and I'm going to enjoy my life in Caribbean. No, that would be awesome actually, but it's not. So a digital twin, it's the next frontier of AI, and it's already reality.
Yeah.
Like it's a digital representation of a human or of an object in a digital space.
Okay.
So how this is applied
in
real life, okay? Think of it healthcare again. You can doctors create the digital twin of a patient.
All right.
And they run simulations in the digital world
geez.
before they apply, and they do it on the patient, whether it is a surgery, whether it is a therapy, whether it is testing new drugs, testing vaccines, testing all new things. So to reduce the risks to mess it up on the human.
Wow.
So you do digital twins and training autonomous vehicle. How do you think cars are trained to drive? Is that like they just put it in the car and like you go hit a bunch of humans and I'll teach you that you can't do that. That's bad. Kill people. No, they train.
Kill people bad. Don't kill people good.
Don't.
Good car.
Exactly. No, you do a digital twin and you train them in the digital world under each possible scenario.
Yeah.
That will be even impossible to test maybe in the real world. Some scenarios are impossible. And then they transfer that artificial knowledge in the digital world into the actual car engine. Ford, for every car that they produce, Ford creates 7 digital twins of that car.
I heard that there has to be like billions of hours of training done to be able to get a car to start being able, or something like that. It was the idea being there was a ton of digital visualization that had to be done to be able to get a car in the real world actually to behave properly.
It's really, really complicated. But that's the technology. It's called digital twins.
Man, so there is some excitement around the potential for new opportunity created with AI. And we see some of that digital or AI enablement with what we do. Like there's a platform that we use that basically has an AI, I'm assuming an AI that essentially edits a podcast for you. So you just put in the different camera angles, and then it knows who's talking and which angle to show on the screen. So you can edit a podcast in minutes versus having someone have to go in and do the cuts.
That sounds amazing.
You know, you cut your efficiency, or you improve your efficiency exponentially by not having to go through an hour manually. You can have an AI go through it. And I mean, how long does it take for you to do one? Maybe like 20 minutes.
How long did you get before?
An hour and a half. Yeah.
That's
because you're essentially rewatching the whole thing.
That's so awesome. So here's a question. Are you going to tell all your friends to do the same, or are you going to keep the secret for yourself? That's the other thing I'm seeing.
Yeah.
I have developers that they use like ChatGPT to for like software development, and like they have teams meetings with their teams, and people are like, "Oh man, you're so awesome! How did you do it?" Or like, "Oh my god, girl, how did you code this so fast?" And they don't tell it. They don't say that they use ChatGPT.
Or are they not allowed to use ChatGPT? They don't
I don't know, but they're like coming out like these genius people, and they're just
so smart, Brad.
Good at using AI, right? They're good at using AI.
Yeah.
And I keep saying that to people, like, don't feel ashamed to say that because it's not like you need to be good at using this technology.
It's a skill in its own right.
It's a skill in its own.
Sure.
So it's still differentiating that you can use it and you are using it successfully.
When I was in school, I was talking to a guy who was in coding, and I was like, "Man, this is fat. Like, how do you remember all this stuff?" He was like, "Dude, honestly, if you want to get good at coding, get good at Googling." And I was like, "Oh, okay."
Stack Overflow. Stack Overflow is the website, the most loved website by all developers in the world. We just go there and we do how to do XYZ. And there are like thousands of people that tell you what. It's like a forum, like a Twitter for coding.
Everyone's chatting about it.
Copy paste it, run it, debug it, and like test it until it works.
Dude, I want to look at this. Do you have the incident report thing? I want to look at these. Okay, we're on the AI incident database.
Yeah.
And we have a Tesla. Oh, geez. When was this? Tesla autopilot killed driver in crash in Florida while watching movie?
Yeah.
Don't Netflix and chill.
Sleeping driver on Tesla autopilot. Yeah, and a lot of incidents are like repeated multiple times because there's different media reporting on them.
Wait, go to the first one. Facebook translates good morning into attack them, leading to arrest. Sir, your AI.
You have a new favorite website now. You watch it every day.
This is dangerous. I'm going to be going through this daily now.
Yeah, and you can submit incident reports too. So if you can submit it. Submission leaderboard. They give you prices and stuff. But there's
did they just gamify?
Wait, go to Discover Incidents. There is a much better view of this. Hold on. I need to find it because you're going to love it. There you go. Okay, so here, and you see all the articles and like you can click on them. Yeah, trolls have
we just talked about that. Trolls have flooded X with graphic Taylor Swift AI fakes.
Yeah, that was the one that we talked about.
Fake Biden robocall not expected to affect NH primary. That's actually, that's what we were talking about.
Yeah.
People faking that. I didn't even think about that.
They are, see, it's reality.
It's so low hanging fruit for bad actors.
It's so, and like, how do you track this? Like, I know about this incident database because I work in this space. Yeah. Right. But like the rest of the world, they don't even know.
One of the most prominent examples of X attracted more than 45 million views and 24,000 reposts to the Taylor Swift images.
Yeah.
I mean, that's sizable. That's crazy.
That's crazy. That is crazy.
I mean, when you look at all this stuff, like I've got to think, like, is your personal outlook like positive? Like, I mean, how do you? Because you see something like this, you're like, dang, this is like scary. But
yeah, it is
you're
scary.
in this every day on different levels. I mean,
I am on this every day.
Yeah.
I think it's like, I don't know. It's like, the way I like to think about it, it's like a doctor, right? Okay. Like a doctor for the data. So it's like you choose to be ethical every day. It's a choice. It's not like nobody's gonna teach you or can force you to be a good person or to be.
You can have a bad doctor just like you can have a good doctor.
Yeah. Like you need to make a choice, and so I make the choice every day to do good choices, good usage of this technology, and the possibilities of doing this. Of using it harmful, they're so easy. You can see like they're so easily available. But I try to make part of my job is to try to let not this happen. And it's funny because actually this is not funny, but I downloaded the data from the incident database, and I was looking at when did it started to like get so messed up. So you can see that from 2013 and 14, there was an exponential increase of
I see.
Incidents. And this is where deep learning started.
Interesting. Okay, so we're looking at like a graph
image recognition, image detection, video detection. So all of that technology, when it's not numbers anymore, it becomes pictures, videos, all of that. This is how, there's way more chances to create fake stuff and to create incidents. And then I also analyzed it by category.
Whoa.
So you can see that the biggest
So we're looking by incidents sorted by category of the incident. And we've got a pie chart. With race, sex, and religion. Yeah, we should put these on Instagram. race, sex, religion as the top 3: national origin, age, sexual orientation, ideology, financial means.
Yeah. Financial means a big one.
Yeah.
Financial means a big one.
Oh yeah.
It is a big one because you know what's tricky about the data? That you can be like an organization that is like, oh, I'll give you my customer data,
Yeah.
okay? And I want you to build me an algorithm that it's credit loan approval, okay?
Okay.
But take out the gender.
Yep.
Take it out because I don't want it to be discriminating women.
Yep.
Okay. Take out, I don't know, take out race because I don't want it to be discriminated by race. Take out religion. Take out, okay, I did it. And the algorithm was still discriminating.
Still discriminating.
Black people. You know why? It took me weeks to realize it. Analyze through the data.
Yeah.
It was a freaking zip code.
Oh, wow. So it found a way around the limitations to still be discriminating in a way.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a zip code. Now, if I'm a good data scientist, before I give this to the client, I'll run through all the tests that I can to test the bias of this model, right? If I'm somebody that is more like, oh, who cares? Like whatever, they removed the gender, race, these sensitive columns. It's fine. That would have been in production. So a bank or a credit institution would have had an algorithm that was running like discriminating a certain category of people.
Yeah. Back to that idea of like the creators, and even not necessarily bias in that case, but just oversight in a way, like leading to something that could have serious negative consequences on a community.
You're kidding me?
Yeah.
It's listen, it's at levels that we can't even imagine sometimes. Like HR, resume scrutiny is another one. Like when you scrutinize a resume.
Yeah.
Same thing. It happens.
Screening them through AI.
Yeah. That's another one. I was working on this project that was for an HR system. And it was like, it was being biased. It was discriminating women. So it was like, and I didn't have the picture. I didn't have the name. I didn't have women, or like I didn't have the sexual orientation, gender, like nothing. I didn't have nothing on the resume. I had removed all of those.
You're giving it resumes to analyze the best fit for a job.
Yes.
I gotcha. Okay.
It was discriminating women. I was like, why the hell it keeps discriminating women? I don't get it. I mean, it could be just woman is not good for this job, right?
Okay. Yeah.
But it wasn't the case because every time, like, it's not like I was telling them like, oh, give me a resume for, I don't know, a woodcutter. And it was like, you know what I mean? Like,
a lumberjack.
It was like, it was like jobs that women can, or man, it's like software developer, product manager, like,
I got you.
You know? And it was so discriminating. And you know what it was? The writing style.
Wow. It could tell.
The women have a different writing style in writing their resume than a man. So the system was trained on data, on resume writing styles that mostly belong to men. And so if the algorithm saw a word like soft skill creativity or innovation, which is something that maybe women tend to use more, in the resume, the algorithm be like, no, you're curious and innovative. You're not good because you need to be passion or like mission driven or like, you know, something a man use. So those are like the nuances that you don't even,
Dang, and it's something that like you wouldn't even, I mean, I wouldn't even pick that up personally, but geez, when you have an AI with that much input that can be that all seen, it's like.
So a big part of the company that for SaaS, we have in place like frameworks that do just this for customers to like make sure that everything that they're deploying and analyzing has gone through all these tests. That is responsible and you know is used ethically.
Golly.
Because this is the most difficult thing for organizations that want to do AI today at a business level.
It's funny when you see people like doing the examples of digging into what the AI believes or how the AI will interpret something. We've got to pull up the have you seen the Happy Rabbit example? Oh, this is fun. This is fun. Okay, so this is like a trend, but this is like you ask AI. So he says, generate an image of an adorable bunny.
Okay.
So you get, here's an image of an adorable bunny sitting in a grassy field surrounded by wildflowers. It's a cute bunny, right?
Yeah.
Okay, next one. Make it happier. Here's an updated image of a very happy bunny in a sunny grassy field. He's a happy bunny, smiling. Next one. Make it even happier. The bunny's jumping up in the air. It's like the colors are kind of vibey. Sun-drenched meadow. Okay, next one. Okay, he says, make it even happier. He's like, I've created images. I don't know why I'm saying he. ChatGPT created images with increasingly happy bunnies, each time making the bunny appear more joyful and the scene more vibrant.
The bunny's blue.
There's a rainbow. To capture an even higher level of happiness, I'll need to emphasize the most joyful aspects in the next image.
Okay.
Okay, next one. Make it even happier. So now the bunny's kind of in outer space. We've already depicted the bunny in various joyful scenarios, each more jubilant than the last. For this next attempt, I'll try to imagine a scene of unparalleled happiness, pushing the limits of whimsy and delight. Okay, next one. So then he says,
where is he
even happier.
Where's the bunny going in the space?
Now the bunny is like in the galaxy. It's more delightful and whimsical than the next. Okay, next one. To make it even happier. So now this bunny's in rainbow galaxy mode. Big ears, smiling. This time I'll attempt to conceive a scene of pure, unadulterated joy and wonder. Going beyond conventional boundaries of happiness and bliss. Okay, next one. He's asking him again.
What?
Now you've got like
this doesn't look happy to me anymore.
He's like kind of
like
evil.
He just woke up in the morning. It's like doesn't want to go to work.
This is like God Bunny looking down in Galaxy. Okay, next one. Now
oh my! Did you watch Dragon Ball growing up?
A little bit.
Super Saiyan.
Oh yes,
bunny.
That's perfect. This is Super Saiyan Bunny. A bunny transcending into a physical form of
fusion between the two.
Fusion. And then the next one. Yeah,
oh man, no, okay, this is turning.
You've got like a religious bunny now.
This is becoming like a yoga bunny.
Yoga Buddha bunny, and then I think the next one's look at this.
It's not even a bunny.
Where's the ultimate form of happiness, transcending all known beings and concepts. This entity, it's not even a bunny anymore. It's an entity. Is the very
essence of happiness.
The only existing being and defining force of all existence.
This is so stupid.
No.
Like, what?
So you use AI to like optimize businesses? This is what we use AI for.
Oh man, no wonder my brother thinks my job is stupid. That's all he watches.
Yeah, he's on the Reddit thread looking at.
Yeah.
There's funny ones too where people will like those be like, show me a $5 meal. And it'll show them like, a burger. It'll be like, show me a $10 meal. And then it'll be like a whole thing. Then it'll be like a $20, $100,000, $10,000 meal. And it's like someone in the galaxy eating all this. And then it'll be show me a priceless meal. And then it'll be like mom, dad, kid, small country. Yeah, it's actually
priceless.
Yeah, dude. If you look up
so
like
it
AI priceless meal,
the word priceless to family.
With family, like the experience of it is being priceless.
That's interesting.
Yeah, they're pretty
that the
cool,
model
actually.
has learned that.
I know. So like it's in how the AI is like interpreting or like what it was trained off of to know. It means that
there are a lot of articles out there that use the word priceless in association to things like family and stuff.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Because it learns from what it's out there, like things that we have put out there.
Yeah.
That's the other thing, right? Like ChatGPT, it works by frequencies.
Okay.
Which means that if you ask the questions, are you bold or not?
Okay. Are you bold?
Like,
am I a bold person or not?
Yes.
Or is ChatGPT bold?
No, for example, if you ask the question, you give a picture, you give your picture.
Yeah.
And you say, do I have hair or not?
Okay.
Okay.
You'd be like, fuck no, you ain't got hair.
It depends.
Oh, really?
It works on frequencies.
Okay.
So if you give to the system like 10 answers, it says yes, you have hair.
Yeah.
And 9 answers, it says no. It's gonna say
with
yes.
an image of me, and then I'm like training it that
so
like.
it's the same thing like opinions, right? It's the same thing. Like, do you think going to school is good?
Okay.
If the majority of the people on the internet say that go to school is not good because maybe they're complaining about something, the system is going to tell you that go to school is not good. Not good. Because that is the majority of the frequent, like it's the most frequent question, the most frequent answer, even online. And so this whole concept
it skews to the majority of the answers that have been given to it.
It's all it reasons by frequency. So higher the frequency of a word or something, the most likely is going to be presenting that to you.
Yeah.
So it's like what it's wrong and what it's right.
Well, you have to interpret for yourself.
No,
right?
the right becomes
The right for the AI is what the majority is, not necessarily what the truth is.
So minorities don't like stop to like if you're part of somebody that has a controversial idea, you're wrong.
Just because less people said it, it's wrong. Jeez. It's like the AI of today, you've got to be your own. You have to have your own discernment. You can't take it wholesale.
No,
you know
it hallucinates. We call it hallucinations in the technical space. Yeah, we call it hallucinations. Like the output of ChatGPT that like are wrong. We call them like we actually measure for our customers like the numbers of hallucinations and like how much your model is hallucinating. Hallucinations. Yeah, there's a whole literature. You can go on Google and like there's so like how to reduce hallucinations
of your AI system.
Yeah, actually the technical term is large language models. Large because they're built out of billions of inputs.
Yeah.
Imagine like you take all the content from every search engine exists.
Yeah.
Libraries, books, academia, everything. You
all
put it just
inputs.
in a brain.
Yeah.
Billions and billions of inputs in one brain called ChatGPT. That is called a large language model. Large because it's billions of inputs and language model because for the first time in human history, we have a model that it's able to interpret human language.
Got it. Now, so this might be a dumb question. At what point does a large language model become generative AI or AI?
Okay, that's a great question. A large language model, think of it as the the machine that drives the generative AI.
Got it.
So it's like, what is generative AI, right? Generative AI is a category of AI that it's able to generate content.
Got it. Okay.
How is it content generated? By large language models.
I see. Okay. You have to have the large language model.
It's the large language model. The model generates it. And then this whole trend, this whole technology is called generative AI.
Yeah. So, I mean, what do you feel like the next year, 3 year, 5 year, like, do you have a general set of how you think the common man is going to be impacted? I mean, what about the guy who's just like, I mean, what about like education or like, you know?
So I think that over the next 5 years, so like let's say 2030, the most important skill in the world to acquire is going to be data literacy.
Yeah.
To me, honestly, it's going to become the next currency that it's going to divide poor people from rich people.
That's heavy.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think so. Like if you're data literate, you have higher opportunity to get a job that is higher paid, have opportunities to know people at certain levels and get access to opportunities at certain levels. If you don't have that, you're going to become, a little cut out from all these conversations where the money and where the world and the innovations is going. And so that's why I encourage everyone to continue to study this because no matter how much we think is not going to affect us, it is going to affect us.
Yeah. So true, man.
To me, data literacy is the most important. Like take a data course, do something like take a basic knowledge of data. Don't think that just because you use ChatGPT sometimes or something, I'm not talking about you, but like everybody, like don't think that, I know
I'm
this.
pretty pro in case you didn't notice
during
this conversation.
You're a pro.
I got it figured out.
Yeah.
Man, wow.
Yeah, to me, that's going to be the most important skills in the next years.
It just makes so much sense.
Yeah.
Wow.
And the fun thing is that we thought, if you look back, we thought that the jobs that we're going to have the highest chances to be replaced. Were going to be the mechanical jobs.
I was literally just about to say that. We thought it was going to be
It's all the creative stuff. All the stuff that require creativity and like all design and like all these jobs that are more
video production,
content driven,
production,
right? We thought that the guy that was working at McDonald's was going to get fired because you had a robot making the burger for you.
Not right now.
That's not happening, right? Like all these jobs, like machines are imitating us. And so they're becoming best in what we are best at.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's kind of a funny way to think about it because I guess I had realized that, but I didn't really know why. But it's almost natural that they would go for what we are.
Because, we're training them to be like our brains and they're becoming better at what we are better at.
Sheesh.
You know,
Well, we're gonna have to do a follow up once this AI stuff is. Once we've got AI doctors, maybe you can help us navigate the world of AI.
AI consultants, new job.
This was so fun, though. I really appreciate you coming out
Thank
here.
you so much for having me.
We'll be checking in on the incident reports too to make sure
Yeah,
to see what the
yeah.
latest chaos
Bookmark
is.
it.
Yeah, we'll be bookmarked now. Awesome. Well, where can people tune in with your stuff at?
Say it again.
Where can people tune in with you at? Like where would they find you?
Oh, I'm on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is my
nice.
The social channel I use the most.
Mm-hmm.
First name, last name, and Marinela Profi. I can send you the link if you want to share it.
We'll put it in the description for sure. Yeah.
Thank you. And then I have fun sometimes doing YouTube shorts.
Nice.
I'm currently working on a bunch of YouTube shorts for generative AI.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah. But I think LinkedIn is the where I really post
Great.
most of the things. And
Great.
then just by typing my name on Google, it's all my research and like articles and things that I
Awesome.
talk about.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then events. I love in-person events. So I travel a
Nice.
lot. I'm going to a bunch of, I'm going to Data AI, like a huge summit happening in Orlando. Then we're going to like SaaS Innovate, which is the biggest event that my company does every year in Las Vegas. That's going to be super exciting. So I have a bunch of travels coming
A lot
up.
of stuff. Cool.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
I'm sure maybe some people will tune in if we've piqued their curiosity to get educated.
I have serious curiosity, man.
Yeah, yeah.
I have it tattooed.
Oh, I love
in Italian.
Nice.
Yeah.
Curiosity.
Curiosità.
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 Yes.
Hey, everybody. Stay curiosità.
Stay curious. Yeah, that's like a big thing for like it's so important. It's so important in
That's
life to just
awesome.
stay always curious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sweet. Well, this was a lot of fun. Love
Thank
to
you.
do
That
it
was
again.
a lot of fun. I hope people
Yeah.
enjoyed my technical talk. I hope I didn't confuse anyone, but if I did, sorry.
Yeah, I think we dumbed it down enough. All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. See you later.